All right, the San Antonio Spurs beat the Utah Jazz in a really fun preseason game. Let's talk about it. First, let's talk about the Spurs before we talk about the Jazz. I'm not going to talk too much about every. It was interesting that they played Chris Paul but did not play Victor Wembanyama tonight. I just thought that was kind of. I guess they just want to get Chris Paul some run. At this point, he's 39 years old. You kind of know what you're getting with Chris Paul. But he was 1 for 7 from the field, but he did have 8 assists. Just solid, quiet play from Chris Paul, who's going to be really great for Victor Wembanyama. Obviously, a bummer that we didn't get to watch Victor Wembanyama tonight play against the Jazz, because Wembanyama is going to be basically must-see TV for the rest of his career. But we did get to see Stephon Castle, who I loved in the draft. I wanted the Jazz to trade up for Stephon Castle so badly. He was great tonight. In 19 minutes, the stat line isn't going to be bonkers, but he hit a big-time 3, hit a nice, and drove and dunked the ball. It was around the 4 or 5 minute mark with the game on the line. He was phenomenal. And then when you combine that with his size and defense on the other end, impressive stuff. So Stephon Castle ends the game a plus 10. Just the best on the entire Spurs team. Plus 10, 11 points. Let's see. He had 3 assists, 2 rebounds. And then just the defense from him was phenomenal, and 1 steal. He is going to be so good for the Spurs. I cry myself to sleep. No, I don't. But I really wanted him on the Jazz. What a bummer that he goes to the Spurs, and he's going to be just such an incredible fit with them. He's going to learn from Chris Paul for at least a year, and I don't know. I think Chris Paul has a second-year option on his contract. I can't remember. Let me know, Spurs fans, what that contract looks like for Chris Paul as the season goes on. But they've got some nice young players. They also rested a lot of guys. Vassell did not play tonight. So it was a chance to see the youth on both sides. So let's talk about the Utah Jazz. KG10 to TH5. Victor was clearly scared of the Utah Jazz. He was. I'm sure he said, I don't want any part of Isaiah Collier. Jazz did not tank note enough to storm the castle. No, they did not. He would have been so nice, guys. He would have been so nice. He would have been so nice on this Jazz team, but it is what it is. All right, so, and I guess the asking price for some of these teams to trade up in the top 3 was Lauri Markkanen. Obviously, Utah was expecting much more than that. They did not make a move this offseason. Anyways, let's talk about the Utah Jazz. Let's just go from the top. We had people online. I know a lot of Utah fans are excited about Utah Hockey Club. By the way, I have a cool promotional opportunity. I didn't check the promotional button tonight, YouTube, because I'm not selling anything, but I will be selling something kind of cool for all the Utah hockey fans. They won again tonight, 3-0. Anyways, Cody Williams is the one we're talking about now, and people were talking on the interwebs that he was not being aggressive enough. And guess what? He answered the call tonight in 29 minutes. He had 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He was awesome, and that 3 ball was falling for him. He went 3 for 4. He was 6 for 10 from the field, driving to the basket, finding open lanes and scoring. He is really nice. So if you're not going to end up with Stephon Castle, Cody Williams sure is a real nice consolation prize. And who knows, maybe Stephon Castle, this is the best he's going to be, and it's just kind of a nice defensive specialist. And Cody Williams has a chance to turn into something really nice because he can shoot the ball. That 3 for 4 from 3, the shot looks nice. And the more and more he finds himself being comfortable and doing the things that Will Hardy wants him to do, he's just going to get better and better. And look at this, only 1 turnover in 29. But when Isaiah Collier went out, Collier played just 9 minutes. Cody Williams moved over to the 2. And so he was playing a lot of this from the shooting guard, initiating a bunch of things, and it went really well. The ball moves. He just makes the right play. He's a very smart player. You can just tell, and he's an unselfish player as well. But the Jazz, the thing is some of these guys that are just so naturally unselfish, sometimes the hardest thing to learn in the NBA is learning to just be selfish. Make the play. Go score the ball. You know, it's what you need to do. And that's what makes a good NBA offense, is when every player on the floor is able to score the ball when it's your turn, or when that's what the offense needs. You move this ball around, and the ball movement is important, and that's what you want. But you move the ball around. Why? To get someone a good shot. And if they can't take it, or they're too scared to take it, or they, won't take it, then it's a problem. The fact is, Cody Williams is getting that ball in that offense and he's doing a lot of good things with it. And this is nice to see because he's playing off of both, Collier and Collin Sexton. And I think this really validates what we said last time. Last game, the Jazz were just force-feeding the ball to Markkanen, which is not a bad strategy to have. But Cody Williams was kind of a casualty of that, and everyone talking about him not being aggressive enough. Well, it's hard to be aggressive when you don't have the ball, and every single play is going to Markkanen to shoot the ball. And it's kind of a catch-22 or whatever you want to call it, where the thing you want to be doing is feeding the ball to your best player. But Markkanen's not a great passer. He's not a big-time playmaker, and so Cody Williams is not going to get the ball. So I guess, long story short, we should not be surprised that Cody Williams is getting the ball in a situation like this and scoring and doing a lot of nice things. Really nice to see. Taylor Hendricks, the shooting was not there. It really is, it would have been nice to see him have a better scoring night, especially against younger players on the Spurs. But he does look more comfortable. And 13 points, 3 for 3 from the free throw line, but the percentages weren't good. You really want to see this up, and I think this will go up. This is a very big season for Taylor Hendricks to just find his way to create good habits, consistently score the ball. I mean, we know he can shoot the three, and I do think in the long run, I'd like to see him be a center eventually, or at least playing kind of backup center, depending on what the Jazz do with their roster. The Jazz roster is far from complete. All these picks are finding their way on the team, and you're going to find out in the next 2 or 3 seasons who stays, who goes, and that's just how basketball in the NBA is. And if Cody Williams can continue to be comfortable on the floor when he doesn't have the ball, doing the right things, he makes a lot of nice passes. He had 1 assist tonight, but he was really one thing I've noticed from him during this preseason is that he is moving the ball really well. He's getting the ball in the high post, and he's either hitting the big down low or he's getting the ball out to perimeter players in a nice way. It's really nice to see, and we've seen his handle be a little bit better too. Yes, the percentages aren't good, and you want to see this get better, but we've seen some nice things from Hendricks, and I think he has a chance to really blossom this year. And if all he is a very nice shooter that can drive to the basket and he moves the ball within the offense, that's great. Because we know that defensively he has some real talent. And so it's just going to be fun this year to watch these guys develop. Walker Kessler played okay tonight. He had 10 rebounds and 7 points in 25 minutes, so that's really nice to see. It was purely defensive rebounds tonight. He had a stretch there where they had to pull